Can Aston Villa win the title? I don't think they can. But I think if you are to win a title, and let's say Man City go and win a title, we'd say, OK, they've got Haaland, who could be the best player in the league. If I look at Arsenal right now, I think of Declan Rice. If they went on to win the league, I see him as sort of like maybe a Player of the Year candidate.
Bukayo Saka as well.
Yeah.
They've got a couple.
But with Aston Villa, who could drive them to the title? Who is that special that could almost be head and shoulders above everybody in the Premier League? And the one player I look at is Morgan Rogers. PFA Young Player of the Year, as we've just mentioned before. Could he go on and be a PFA Player of the Year this season and drag Villa really close to a league title?
Doesn't it say a lot, Jamie, that Unai Emery picks him every week?
Yes.
And also that Thomas Tuchel has started to pick him pretty much every game as well.
Yeah. Now, he's been one of those players, probably along with Elliot Anderson, in the last 6 months for England, who most people look at and think, oh, in the England team, that's a bold move. But the longer they're in there, you think, no, they should be in there. But what I would say is Morgan Rogers is competing with arguably our best player right now. He plays for Real Madrid in Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham played the last game. And I think in most people's eyes, and certainly in mine as well, I must admit that, I think once we get to the World Cup, Jude Bellingham will be playing in that position. But the more I watch him play, and I actually think Thomas Tuchel thinks like this, this is not an easy decision that Bellingham comes back in. This is a real fight for Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers to see who's going to play in that number 10 position behind Harry Kane at that World Cup. And if he keeps playing like that...
Salah, I want to ask you about Arsenal yesterday, who did get the job done right at the end against Wolves. So from your perspective, from somebody who's won many a Premier League title, Gary, are we focusing that they got the job done and they got there in the end? Or are you focusing on the fact that it was a little bit too difficult?
A bit of both. I think if you're getting into the change room after the game, I think you're probably getting a little bit of a telling off from your coach and saying basically that that's not good enough. You need to step your level of performance up, because you play like that too many times, you won't win this league. On the other hand, part of you is saying you're going to have performances and moments like this during the season. You know, it's not all going to be plain sailing. So I think there's a little bit of both. But if I was in the dressing room, I'd be giving ourselves a little bit of a slap around the face and saying, wake up, come on. You know, we're going to be in danger if we carry on playing at this level. So a little bit of a dip for Arsenal in the sense of performance, but it was important that they did get those 3 points. That is vital.
Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher didn't hold back as they dissected Arsenal's growing defensive concerns, warning that small lapses at the back could have huge consequences in a tight title race. Neville pointed out how moments of poor concentration and sloppy positioning have crept into Arsenal's game, turning comfortable situations into nervous endings. Carragher agreed, stressing that championship-winning sides must be ruthless defensively, especially in high-pressure matches where one mistake can swing momentum. Despite the criticism, both pundits acknowledged Arsenal's quality and attacking threat, insisting the title dream is still alive if lessons are learned quickly. Carragher highlighted the need for stronger communication and leadership in key moments, while Neville emphasized game management as the missing piece. Entertaining and brutally honest, their review sent a clear message: fix the defensive issues now, or risk watching the title slip away.